Good morning, everybody. It's Michelle from Tape and Twine, and I want to welcome you to the February edition of Tea with Me. I'm barely getting it in February. In fact, this probably will end up airing on Leap Day, since it'll take me that long to probably edit it. And I'm not, in full disclosure, I'm not drinking tea today. It's in the morning before everybody wakes up. Now that's not to say that it's early. I'm just not a morning person, and my son is home from school. He had his wisdom teeth taken out this week, so he's sleeping late. I am not a morning person, so we'll see how this video goes. But I definitely need my coffee in the morning. So since I'm trying to get this done, it's coffee today. So if you're new, first of all, I want to thank everybody who's here that's a subscriber and who joins me every month for Tea with Me. This is probably one of my favorite things to do, even though it takes me a gazillion years to plan and do it. And I want to thank you if you're new for stopping in. I hope that you can find some useful bits and pieces just from this little chat. So what Tea and Me is, if you're not familiar, is every month, instead of having a bunch of videos where I chat, I try to condense it to one video a month where I talk about all things that I'm interested in paper craft or junk journaling. And I also make recommendations for books that you can use as supplies and try to share any information I've picked up along the way this particular month. So in February, I've been doing a lot of auctions and estate sales. So you may have seen on my Instagram feed these little frames that I made, and the insides were made from old book pages and the outsides were made from old photo frame pages of an old photo album. And I thought these would be really great on covers or even to stick in a journal. I covered them in the back just to give them a little extra strength, but they're pretty sturdy because they're chipboard and you can really embellish them. So I'm going to be having a video on this craft or this project soon, so watch my channel for that. Another thing that this month has kind of been my thing is there's so many of us out there that watch videos from, like Tracy Fox and Artie Mays, and we are very inspired by them, Nick the Booksmith. And one of the reasons when I started a channel, I wanted to be very thoughtful about what I put up there because I don't want to repeat what they're doing. So one of my biggest inspirations for wanting to put things up here is things from the past. So I just want to show you this little project I made because I really think it's a really interesting little project and so easy to reproduce. And I'm not going to do a video on it. I'm just going to share it with you here because I don't even think you need, I think it's so self-explanatory. So I found this little sachet. And what you're not seeing is there was some red ribbon right in here. And there was a sweet little phrase printed on it. And then when you opened it up in the back, inside was sort of like a tissue or a piece of very thin fabric, and it was scented. And it was closed and tied with ribbon. Now when I took it apart, I noticed really it's just an envelope. So I thought, you know what, for all of us who have stashes and we want to get rid of these extra little bits and pieces, this is a fun and easy little project that then is very useful and then make a great part of a gift if you were making, let's say, a gift basket or something like that, or just in your own closets and in your own spaces that you want to freshen up a little bit. You can put some of your really pretty collages. So all I did was I took an envelope, a regular standard envelope, and I collaged it, just a basic collage, nothing special. Everything here was just in my scrap bin. So it's just papers and wallpaper and little bits of fabric. I'm going to actually remove this. I'm keeping this in because I want to show this to you. So you would actually tie these little pieces, right? But to put the sachet in, you have to take the ribbon out. So now I think you can see just a regular envelope, nothing special, but you can make it into something awfully pretty, right? And then you just take your punch and you punch 2 holes here and 2 holes here to tie your ribbon. And then I really like, there's a brand in America called Method, and it's sort of like a little all natural. And I really like their fabric sheets because they have really nice smell. And I was thinking you could take a piece of felt and spray it with perfume or something like that, but I wasn't sure if it would seep through the paper and get on clothes. So I thought, well, a really nice fabric softener sheet would work just as well. So you just take that and fold that in half and insert that into your envelope, right? And then you're going to pass that ribbon through. And you could also pass it the other way and tie it in the front. I'm just choosing to tie it in the back. Right? And then you're just going to tie it. Again, it's morning, so can I tie it? We'll find out. And now it's tied. It's closed. And it smells great. And you can put this now in your drawer, or you could put it in your closet. You could even, put a little hole here with a piece of ribbon and hang it in your closet between your clothes. And it's just a really nice little sachet. So I did this one too. Again, just stamped really. I could make this in literally 5 minutes. This is an easy little stash busting project for you. So this is just seam binding that I put here. And again, I used the wrong stamper. Not that it matters, it's little hearts. But again, I just used washi tape and stamping and a little piece of painter's paper, and that's it. And again, it's just a little tiny envelope that you can just put in, something that smells really nice. You could probably use essential oils too. Again, the thing that I don't know, and maybe you all who have more experience with some of these essential oils will do, is if you took a piece of felt and put a little bit of essential oil on it, would it seep through here? That's my only question. I guess if you're hanging it, it doesn't really matter. But if it's in my drawer, I don't want it seeping through onto my clothes. So that's why I'm doing a dryer sheet. But my other point is you could probably do essential oils. So this little project was just something I wanted to share with you. And it was inspired by this little card sachet that was inside a Valentine from the 1900s. And I think what I would like to do, because I am trying to work on digitals, is that I want to bring you projects that are inspired from the past. I think that could be something that I could add to the conversation, and I have so many projects in the wings. Okay, so that's my little project I wanted to share. Now I want to share a couple little things that I found along the way. So the first thing I want to share is I have never seen this before. I have worked with all sorts of materials, but I found this week, and it's called translucent master sheets, and it's essentially tracing paper that's like ledger. It is so cool. Can you see my hands? It's translucent. You can see my hands. It's got a great crinkle to it. I've never seen this before. I don't know where we can find it. It's obviously very vintage, but I'm wondering if we can find it somewhere else. So just wanted to show you this because it is so cool. Can you see how translucent that is? Can you see my hand through here? It is going to look great in a junk journal, and it's got that awesome little crinkle. So translucent analysis pads, just a fun little supply I found this month. Okay, moving on. I have a couple recommendations to make. And as you can see, I'm not wasting any time today. I'm just going. Okay, so if you're in the United States, we have just a ton of beautiful stamps that we can choose from. And you can go to your post office and ask for those stamps, and they will show you what they have in stock. But my little post office doesn't generally have a lot in stock. So if I go online and say I want to order stamps, you can have whatever stamps you want delivered to your mailbox, and you pay like a little over $1 for the delivery fee. So I do it all at once. I order like $100 worth of postage at once, and I pick all the prettiest ones. And they're mostly all forever stamps, so they're gonna hold their value. And like when it was Halloween and they had the spooky stamps, I couldn't get those locally, but I could order them online. So if you don't know about that, you can do that. And it's super, super easy to do, and they just get delivered right to your mailbox. But I bring all this up because once you order from them once, you start getting this great magazine. And this magazine is for stamp collectors or for people ordering stamps, and it shows all the stamps that are out and all the stamps that are coming out. And it's free. It gets brought to your mailbox, but inside is like beautiful art that you can fussy cut for your projects or use for your projects. So this was this year's Luna New Year stamp. But as you can see, let me make sure I'm in frame. Look at just the wonderful artwork that's in here. I mean, it's so easy to clip some of this out. Some of these would make great tags. It's a little bit glossy, but it's a nice quality paper. You could definitely dull that down with a little gesso. Look how vibrant this is. And look at, you could simply, if you were making like your own little envelopes that you were just making as embellishments, you can totally cut those out. You got your all the ones that are out currently. The cactus, the birds, look how beautiful these are. And these are very expensive. You can't get the, maybe we could have gotten those, I forget. I looked these up. It was very hard to get these for some reason. I think they might have run their course and now you can only get them in giant, rolls. But, here they are if you want to use them. Obviously you can't use them as postage, but you can use them on your projects, the frogs, the state fairs. I mean, you would never want to put this entire 4-stamp sheet on your project because that's like over $2 worth of stamps, but cutting it out of a magazine is great. You have your dogs. Now you get into your more, look at the trains. Here's the order sheet. John Lennon. And then I think we start coming into, here. So you can see all the ones that are available. And they're just, it's a great magazine. I think you get it like 4 times a year. So I would encourage you even just to order a couple things of stamps online if you're in the United States so you can get this magazine. And if you're not in the United States, then you may have the same thing in your country and it might be worth checking it out. It's just a great little material that came in the mail, and I'm going to be cutting it up, and the cover's cool too. So that is the first thing. I don't even want to try to pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. Okay, too early in the morning. All right, I'm going to do a recommendation. Where's my book? My big book. Hold on. You know it's morning when things completely disappear and they're right in front of your face. Okay, so fussy cutting. We all know and love fussy cutting, right? And we're always looking for good books. So last night I was just fussy cutting out a few birds. And look how beautiful and colorful these guys are. These all come from a book I rescued literally from the garbage can in our recycling center. So not only was it being recycled, it was being thrown away in the recycling center. So this was headed for the landfill. And it's a Barnes & Noble book, just one of those kind of cheapy ones they used to have in the front section. So it's not old at all. But what caught my eye was 2,500 illustrations. That's right, 2,500. And it's all animals. So inside, great end papers. Definitely can use that. And in the front, it's all the environments, and there's really some beautiful scenes in here. All the different locations of all the animals. Look at this rainforest, it's just gorgeous. This is a big book, big book. Inside, there are just a gazillion pictures. And what I really like about it is sometimes when you're in bird books, these names are too close, or they're trying to say male or female or identifying a piece of the bird, and they either go over the bird or really close. These are spaced really nice, so you can really get in there and do some fussy cutting. The paper's thick, so it's easy to cut on. Yes, you have to choose which page you want, because the other side has birds too. But when you have 2,500 images, you're going to be able to pick your favorite. So there's birds, which is, you know, our favorite to cut out, I think. But the neat thing is, oh, look at that picture. The neat thing is look at all the animals. I mean, this is fabulous for Happy Mail if you send out different, you know, some of us, oh, look at the elephants. Love those elephants. If you send out decorated postcards or envelopes when you do Happy Mail, these are great. These are great for collage, especially those of us who just like doing fun ones. And the great thing is, because this was like a Barnes and Noble, like one of their value books, I went online and you can get used copies of this with free shipping in the United States from like Amazon for like $5. And tell me that there is not material in here worth $5. It's all right. I'm not a big dinosaur person, but maybe someone's doing a dinosaur book. All right, snakes. I know a lot of people don't like snakes. There's insects. Love the insects, especially if you're doing like an entomology kind of thing. There's fish. There's shells. There's everything in here. This is like a one book that you could have that you could refer to if you needed any particular color or image of any animal or any insect, bird, whatever. Pretty cheap. Bet you that people out of the country can even find this, probably. Again, it's the Visual Dictionary of Animals. See how chewed up this was? This is why this was getting really recycled. It's from Barnes and Noble, and again, I bet you it's, let me see the copyright on this. It's 2004, so, you know, we're talking 16 years old. It's fairly new. So, a great, inexpensive place to get images, to fussy cut. Okay, one last thing. Like I said, this is not going to be a long one this month. All right, my last thing is, if you have been following my Instagram feed for the business, which is Tape and Twine Vintage, not just Tape and Twine. Tape and Twine is like my personal feed of all my projects and things I love and all my little weirdness. But Tape and Twine Vintage is the business side where we're reselling. And I found this guy, this awesome guy in Texas, and he literally bought the entire collection from a library down in Galveston, I think, of all their old bound magazines. And in there he has the complete collection from the early 1900s and the late 1800s of St. Nicholas magazine, which if you hear it you think Christmas, but it's not Christmas at all. It was a young adults book and magazine, and what the libraries did is they would bind all of them together. They would take the magazines, they would send them out, they would get them bound. It would say the dates on them. I've been able to get these in small chunks from him at a relatively inexpensive price. And when I say relatively inexpensive, I mean he sells them to me at a price and then he mails them up to me. And then I resell them to my customers, and he's made a deal with me so that I can make a little bit of money on them, but I don't make a lot on these, only a few dollars. But I really am interested in making sure that these get into your hands if you want them. And I just wanted to show you what they are and encourage you that if you're interested in this book, and actually I'll show you another book too, that you private message me, because as long as he has these, I can put in small orders. And the reason I put in small orders is it costs so much to ship them up to me because of weight, that after a certain weight it's not cheap anymore. And we use media mail, which is very inexpensive, but we'll put it this way, when I put in an order, it might only be a few dollars to ship each book to me, but when I put in a small order, it's like over $5 to get it shipped to me. So then, then I got to raise the price of the book, and I don't want to do that for anyone. My whole goal of making that business was to make supply quality items at affordable prices. So I just wanted to show you these two books in case any of you are interested. Private message me on my Instagram, and we can add you to an order if we're ordering from him, as long as he has these. So this is St. Nicholas, and this one has already been purchased, and it is November 1891 to 1892, and I just highlighted some of the pages because I just think they're really great. So look at this right here. First of all, everything in the 1800s is illustrated. The early 1900s is a combination of illustrations and photographs. Really nice drawings everywhere. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the little lamb sucking on her finger. It says the first tooth. Just the sweetest. And this picture of the dog and the cat. These illustrations are they're awesome. So these magazines had all sorts of things. They have nature, they have stories, they have fantasy, they have history, puzzles, poetry, everything. And because they're 6 months, if you have the first half of the year, you have a lot of spring and things like that. If you have the second half of the year, you get Christmas. And sorry about that, guys. When my phone rings, it totally, pushes me out. So let me just finish up with this book real quick. So this is, some of the illustrations that we have in St. Nicholas. This one says afternoon tea, and it has a lovely picture with, it looks like a queen or royalty. I don't know. But I love these girls. There's a lot of these boys and girls that are in here. Just suddenly got kind of dark in this room. And just really nice graphics, little poems. A lot of material here for fussy cutting, and oh, look at this dog and cat. And for Victorian type junk journals. The other nice thing is, because this was in a library, there's no smell, which is really hard to get when you're getting a magazine that's over 130 years old. The pages are nice and white and clear. They've done a great job of keeping these in excellent condition. And then and just so you know, these spots on older books is called foxing. It is not mold. It's actually very normal, and it's any time a book came in contact with something acidic, over time it would get brown. So it could have been anything. It could have been fingerprints, it could have been dust, it could have been anything that maybe just a little bit of moisture that had some acidity in it. It's very normal. Foxing actually is kind of like a neat little pretty offset of aging. Sometimes you'll get a library stamp or something. Injury noted. That kind of cracks me up. Injury noted. The library put that in, I guess, just to keep track of the condition. Look at this. The birds. It says Professor Chipmunk relating his adventure. Just lovely book. 500 to 1,000 pages depending on the volume. And then the other thing is these great covers. A lot of them come separated from the book, but they're terrific to make a book. These would be terrific to make a journal with. So there's a ton of supply here. If you're interested, message me and I can give you the information. The second type of book I can get ordered, hold on one second, is this giant. This is called The Athenaeum, and it's from London, and it's essentially an arts magazine that reviews books, talks about plays, does a lot of, it's all text. There are no beautiful illustrations in here, but the advantage of this is, first of all, it's giant. So you could cut this in half and have 2 covers, or you could make a giant sketchbook out of it. It's leather bound, beautiful spines. They don't all have nice, pretty spines. Some of them are falling apart, but I guess that, you know, the price would be based on the condition. And inside, some of them have beautiful marble paper. Yep, Galveston. So this one is 1904. And what they were is they were like newspapers. They weren't like magazines as much as they were newspapers. So here would be like the first page of the newspaper. And they're all like little classify ads and different interesting things, talking about books, talking about plays, art. There's different ads talking about different books and when they're coming out. What I like is the variation of fonts and the way it's laid out. These are great backgrounds. These would be great for collaging dates and numbers. I don't know if you can see this. Look how the numbers are written. I don't know if that's focusing. There you go. Oops, shaking a little bit. But do you see how the numbers written there? And just great different fonts. Great big sheets. These could be folded in half and made for full sheets. Great yellowing, like really nice aging on these pages. So you're talking about massive amount, look at, of things you can cut out, words you can cut out, pages that can be cut out. There's a massive amount of paper here. And then on top of the great amount of paper, you have this thick, beautiful cover that could be used. So this book and this book can be ordered through me. And what I would need to do is just get a price, because they have to be shipped up to me and then I ship them out to you. So when I have a big enough order, which is usually about 5 for these, I bet you it'll be less for these because these weigh a ton. I'd have to get a price from my guy for these. But these are available if you guys want to get in on this. I would definitely want to get as many of these in people's hands before he's out, because they're just, when are you ever going to get a chance to get a book like this again? And these I've been able to sell for around $12.50, as long as he's keeping his price to me the same. A lot of times he changes it based on the quality of the book, like if the spine is attached, but we're talking probably around $15 tops, and this is so worth it. I'm not sure about this one. I'll have to get a price for this one for you guys if anybody's interested. So that's it. It wasn't a super long tea with me today, but I wanted it to be about a few recommendations and some projects I'm working on, a little craft inspired by the past, and I just wanted to say hello because I miss you guys. I absolutely appreciate everybody who tunes into my station, to my YouTube page and to my social media. I appreciate all the feedback and support you guys give me, and just want to let you know that every single person and comment that's given is so appreciated. So this was February. Happy leap year. I'll be back in March, and hopefully I'll have some digitals to share. That's my goal. I'm still on the learning curve of that, but I have so many projects and things that I've been, that I'm really excited to share with you. So that's it. Have a great weekend. I hope you have a great leap day. And to all you leap year babies, happy birthday. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.